been called for by the National Transitional Justice Working Group, which is a platform established by 36 organizations to speak on transitional justice issues in Zimbabwe. This press statement has been necessitated by the utterances that were done by Minister Ziyambi at the UN, in which he highlighted issues of concern to us, which we are soon going to hear. With me to present our statement is Mr. Gukurahundi, who is our Vice Chairperson. He has been tasked to do this by our Chairperson, Mr. Paul Tembanyati. Thank you so much. Over to you.
I would have wanted to stand, but seeing that most of your cameras are pitched. Good morning, members of the Fourth Estate. Thank you very much for responding positively and timeously to our call for this press briefing. My name is Gukurahundi. I'm the Deputy Chairperson of the National Transitional Justice Working Group. Joining me is the thematic leader of the Justice and Accountability Committee, Ms. Lucia. The National Transitional Justice Working Group is greatly concerned by the utterances made by the Minister of Justice, Mr. Ziyambi, about government position on Gukurahundi massacres before the United Nations Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. The Minister's statement reflects that the government has no intention of addressing the Gukurahundi massacres, which he loosely referred to as disturbances. He stated that the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission, whose mandate is to deal with post-conflict justice, has no mandate to deal with mass atrocities which occurred during Gukurahundi. Minister Ziyambi further stated that the government has no mandate to prosecute perpetrators of human rights violations due to the broad amnesty declared by former President Robert Mugabe under Clements Order No. 1 of 1990. Our position as the working group is that the amnesty granted through Clements Order No. 1 of 1990 did not resolve the justice and accountability issues related to the Gukurahundi massacres. This position has also been affirmed by President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who has openly declared the need to address this issue, albeit through engagement of chiefs. In terms of international law, amnesties in which Clements Order No. 1 of 1990 falls in do not apply to genocide and crimes against humanity, the category to which Gukurahundi massacres squarely fall into. We remind the Minister and the government of the African Commission's position in the case of Zimbabwe Human Rights NGO Forum versus Zimbabwe 245 of 02, where it was pointed out that forestalling the right to a remedy for victims without placing alternative mechanisms encourages impunity and is in breach of Article 1 and 7 of the African Charter. Minister Ziyambi is also on record denouncing the constitutional mandate of the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission, specifically as it relates to addressing Gukurahundi, and renouncing the government's role in resolving this dark epoch in our past. We remind both the government and the minister that in terms of sections 251 and 253 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, the NPRC is responsible for, among other things, ensuring post-conflict justice, facilitating the making of amends and the provision of justice. The NPRC is thus mandated and obliged to resolve justice and accountability issues relating to Gukurahundi massacres. The government and the minister must not disregard the Constitution through any action or utterances which suggest that Gukurahundi massacre falls outside the armpit of the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission's mandate. Peace and reconciliation efforts are and should always be citizen-driven, not led by the state. The working group recognizes the efforts made by the NPRC commissioners through public consultations, which showed that Gukurahundi was one of the 3 priority issues by citizens. It is therefore improper for the government or any public servant to unilaterally decide the resolution of a pertinent peace and reconciliation issue without getting an insight from those affected by that issue the most, especially the victims and survivors. Therefore, as the National Transitional Justice Working Group, we call on the government of Zimbabwe to immediately censure Minister Ziyambi's pronouncement, to make a public apology to the victims and survivors of Gukurahundi, to stop undermining the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission, and to capacitate the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission to enable justice and closure to victims and survivors of the Gukurahundi massacres. Thank you.
Thank you so much, colleagues. Should we have any questions, feel free to post them to the panel. Do we have any questions for the panel? Yes.
Thank you. I'm Leo from Gizmo.com. In recent months, we've had President Emerson Mnangagwa engaging chiefs on the Gukurahundi matter, saying that he would want to engage them in solving it. What is your view as the National Transitional Justice Working Group? Is this not a way of usurping the NPRC? It's still okay?
Another question, and then they will respond.
Okay. Did you also register your complaint to him? I'm sure you also attended the meeting, or you were part of the delegates attending the meeting. Did you also speak to him, maybe informally, to understand the way he was, why he made such remarks?
Do we have any third question? Yes.
I understand that the Duweni chieftainship is already taking the Gukurahundi matter at a global stage. And Minister Ziyambi said such sentiments on a global stage as well. Where is the National Transitional Justice Working Group, Zimbabwe, fitting in the equation?
Okay, thank you. To the panel.
Thank you very much for those questions. The pronouncements about the traditional leaders leading Gukurahundi, that's your question. I think as the working group, we are guided by the policy. We have not yet seen a policy besides the pronouncements by the president regarding the transferring of the role of Gukurahundi from the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission to the traditional leaders. But we are aware of other informal processes that are requested by families at family level to try and work with traditional leaders to deal with their own family traumas. And we have no mandate to comment on private matters. But as far as government policy, we have not seen it as an official policy of government. Hopefully, maybe there will be a law regarding that, but as the working group currently, we are unaware of such a policy shift. The other question was on if we engaged with Minister Ziyambi. No, we did not engage with Minister Ziyambi. This is the initial public pronouncement that we are making because we are a working group, so we speak on behalf of stakeholders. But going further, as is our tradition of engaging with policymakers, we will still go ahead and make this position very clear to government. But because it made so much headlines, it became very important that we make a public statement regarding that issue.
The third one was on where the working group is fitting in. The Duweni chieftainship is taking the Gukurahundi issue to the international stage. And the minister also said the same utterances on a global scale. And where does the National Transitional Justice Working Group fit in? Did I capture your question correctly?
Allow me to invite the thematic leader for that area to share her views on that.
As the National Transitional Justice Working Group, our mandate is to look broadly at transitional justice issues within the country. And We have also been working on this issue through the various organizations that are represented within the National Transitional Justice Working Group. We may not have been articulating it as the chief has done or as the minister has already done, but I think even the response that we are giving at this stage actually indicates the role that we have been playing as far as this issue is concerned. So we've fit in within the whole matrix in terms of just ensuring that the mechanisms that the government is putting in place address the transitional justice issues that the country is facing. Perhaps Chair, you will also, Deputy Chair, you will add on to that.
Yeah, I'm fully in agreement with that position. Our role as the working group is at least to make sure that the expectations of the stakeholders are met, and the most primary and critical of our stakeholders are the survivors.
Yes, we have 3 more questions. I'll start with you and then the other 2.
Yeah, my name is Frank Chikowa from the Voice of America. Mr. Mayor, with all these utterances from the state at international forum, what would it take for the survivors to be compensated and reparations to be made?
Yes, we'll come to you and then back to you, Leo.
Maybe the president is saying one thing, then the minister says another thing. Otherwise, need to expose insinuation on the part of government on the issue of Gukurahundi, because the president is doing one thing here, then the minister goes and says a different thing on a global platform. Doesn't it? It is new insinuation on the part of government.
And then probably considering that the minister said this at such a global stage, how confident are you that the apology will come and the traction will also come? Are you very confident that after this statement, the government will reconsider what was said? Thank you.
Back to our panelists.
So we have 3 questions. We have one on what it will take for compensation and reparations. And we have one on policy inconsistencies in terms of government. And we have another one on whether an apology will come. So I'll ask Lucia to address the second one on policy inconsistencies, since she leads our thematic area on justice and accountability. On what it will take for compensation and reparations for victims. So reparations is a separate thematic area for the National Transitional Justice Working Group, and we have issued guiding principles on reparations for victims of past human rights violations. What it will take, our guidelines outline the need for broad-based consultation process, particularly with victims of past human rights violations, to understand the depth of the hurt that they have gone through, and that international standards should be adopted in making sure that we have a reparations program that addresses the damage, the harm, the hurt that was done by past violences. So in the past, the working group has held a conference, a seminar, a consultative platform where victims came out to speak around these issues. And the most important thing for us is ensuring that the voices of the victims are heard in these processes. We recently produced a documentary which I will ask our secretariat to share at the end of this briefing, so that colleagues who are following these issues can get to appreciate our position on that aspect. So it will not take a pronouncement at an international forum. It will take a broad and deep consultative process, which will require a clear assessment of the harm that people suffered during past violations. And among the priorities that the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission has identified is Gukurahundi, falling into the top 3 of what the people of Zimbabwe said they needed addressed. Will an apology come? We really don't know. We wish it could, but apology comes as a package of a number of measures, including issues to do with compensation, reparations that we are speaking about. issues of justice, issues of accountability, and a number of measures that are meant to make sure that we ensure non-recurrence of the past violations. But whether the apology will come or not, it is our role to make it very clear that the statements made by the minister are uncalled for at this point in time. They are hateful to the victims, and they reverse the mandate of the NPRC to ensure post-conflict justice, healing and reconciliation. We can only hope that the minister will hit this call and that the government will in place as well ensure that they don't undermine the constitutional mandate that has been given to the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission. So I will ask Lucia to speak about the issue of policy consistencies in government.
Thank you. As the Transitional Justice Working Group, we have also taken note of the inconsistencies within government itself. And I think this also speaks to the fact that if you pick up the process that the President has highlighted with regards to the engagement of chiefs, as the Deputy Chairperson has already highlighted, in our view, it's kind of an informal process which does not fall within a certain policy that has been articulated. As the Transitional Justice Working Group, we always refer to the commission that has been mandated with this particular role, which is the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission, and anything pertaining to transitional justice issues should be discussed within the confines of the mandate of the national, within the mandate of the NPRC. So the inconsistencies that we have noted are also arising from the fact that there is a trend where there is disregard of the mandate of the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission. And I think our call is clear from the statement to say we are basically saying the role of the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission should not be undermined. If it's not undermined, there won't be these policy consistencies that we're seeing, because whatever it is pertaining to transitional justice will be emanating from the commission itself.
Thank you, colleagues. Do we have another round, or we call it a day? The statement is here printed for you so that you can go through it. Everson will be able to assist you with the link to the documentary which has been referred to, so that you can also pick up some of the pertinent issues that were addressed in that particular